I have been a Harry Potter fan for as long as I can remember. My first interaction was when my mum showed me the Flemish version of Philosopher's Stone.
Het is Leviosa, niet Leviosa. Dan moet je het zelf doen als je zo slim bent. Kom aan, kom aan.
And after that, I watched all the movies that were out at the time and read all the books that were out as well. I think I watched all the films first, except for Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows, because they weren't out yet. So I read those books before I saw the films. I must admit that I have read the book series once, maybe twice, and that was in Dutch. However, I have always been a bigger fan of the films, and that's okay, because films speak to me more. I prefer visual media, and the Harry Potter films are beautiful. But something I never really paid attention to in the Harry Potter films were the costumes of the characters. And over the last couple of years, I have started to get into cosplay and have developed a healthy fascination over clothes in general. That's why I put on my costume glasses and looked at the Harry Potter films carefully. This will be a series of 9 parts, one part of each film and a final part as a conclusion, in which I will analyze every single piece of clothing Harry, Ron and Hermione wear throughout the Harry Potter films. This is part 1, The Philosopher's Stone. We start with Dumbledore, McGonagall and Hagrid delivering baby Harry to the Dursleys. And seeing as Harry is a baby here, we won't go into detail about what he's wearing. We skip 10 years and Harry is now a young chap sporting his first real costume. Something that is explicitly stated in the books, but only implicitly shown in the film, is that the Dursleys don't buy Harry new clothes. Instead, he wears hand-me-downs from his cousin. The first time we see Harry, he's wearing pajamas, I guess, which consist of a large oversized grey t-shirt and a pair of joggings. After he changes for his trip to the zoo, we see his first outfit, which I call the Dursley outfit. Now this outfit has a couple of variants and this is actually the first. It is a blue or greyish t-shirt with long sleeves and an X-shaped seam at the collar with a dark blue and grey checked shirt over it and some tan trousers. This is the first of 3 variants like this, all with t-shirts and checked shirts over them. The first one is a black t-shirt with a grey and brown checked shirt over it. This outfit doesn't have a ton of screen time, especially when compared to the other 2. The final Dursley variant is a light grey t-shirt with a dark blue and brown checked shirt over it and a khaki pair of trousers. This is the outfit that Harry wears to go to Diagon Alley and on the Hogwarts Express. Something important that we glossed over, however, is the scene in which Hagrid tells Harry he is a wizard. Here Harry wears a simple grey t-shirt, not unlike the first time we ever see it. However, I think this is the later Dursley variant, because at the end of the scene Harry simply takes a shirt and leaves for Diagon Alley. He also apparently sleeps with his tan trousers and a belt on. Finally, there is this outfit, which he wears for 4 seconds in this very short scene where Uncle Vernon burns his letters. It is a striped sweater which looks kind of battered, but it seems to fit him better than the shirt, so I don't think it used to belong to Dudley. I don't know where he got it from though. Harry is still wearing his final Dursley outfit as he goes to platform 9 3/4 and meets the Weasleys. Here he meets Ron, who is wearing a green jacket with a brown corduroy collar, a checked shirt and a navy jumper. Later on the train they meet Hermione, who is already wearing her school uniform. She fixes Harry's glasses in this scene, which I view as a nice changing point for Harry, both character-wise and costume-wise. This is the moment where Harry ditches his Dursley attire forever, and from now on we only see him in clothes he himself decides to wear. At least that's how I interpret it. Hermione is the first good glance we get at the Hogwarts uniforms. Now, something interesting to note is that there is actually 2 types of uniforms in this film. The uniforms the first years wear and the standard uniforms. The first year uniforms consists of black cloaks with hoods, grey jumpers and trousers or a skirt for the ladies with matching socks under it, white shirts and a black tie with the Hogwarts crest on it. This uniform is only seen during the sorting ceremony and gets replaced with the house-specific uniforms later. These uniforms are basically exactly the same, except for the house crest on the cloak, an embroidered line on the neck of the jumper in the house colours, and the house colour ties. The black tie with the Hogwarts crest is entirely replaced by a striped tie with the house colours. And this left me wondering, Do the first years have to buy this uniform only for the sorting ceremony? Or do the uniforms change after they've been sorted? Does the house crest magically appear on the cloak, and does a colored line magically embroider itself on the jumper? I'm not actually sure, but it seems kind of ridiculous to spend so much money on a separate uniform that you only wear for like 2 hours. Anyway, the three amigos wear this uniform throughout the majority of the movie. They wear it when they go to classes and even sometimes in between. I have the impression that Hermione wears hers more often than Harry and Ron do, like in this scene at Christmas, where Harry and Ron are in a casual attire but Hermione is in a uniform. I suspect this is because she had to express home, although I don't think the uniform is obligated on the train. Anyway, the uniforms don't undergo much changes. Sometimes the kids wear long striped scarves with their uniform, and it is interesting to note that the three amigos wear their scarves differently, which just fits them perfectly, I think. Hermione wears hers tied, Harry's is swung around one shoulder, and Ron wears it loosely draped over his shoulders. Hermione and Ron are both seen wearing grey gloves sometimes, especially during the Quidditch matches, but I don't think Harry ever wears them. Also, Ron sometimes wears his tie untied and his top button undone and his shirt untucked, giving him a more casual look. It also appears, especially during the sorting ceremony, that Ron's cloak is a little bit more weathered. It looks a little bit grayer and less black than the other students' cloaks, and I think this is because it is second hand. Also, there's this one scene in the common room where Ron ditches his tie entirely. In this scene, Harry also wears his tie untied and his top button undone. While all the other students wear these tiny wizards' hats at the beginning of the film in the sorting ceremony, it is only at the end of the film that the three amigos wear the tiny wizard's hat. It is also interesting to note that Hermione wears a diadem here, while through the rest of the film her hair is untied. And that's about it for the Gryffindor uniforms. But there's one more uniform I want to talk about, and that is Harry's Quidditch uniform. The Gryffindor Quidditch team wears white trousers, red and yellow jumpers, red and yellow robes, pair of long boots, and leg, arm and hand protectors. There's not much more to say about that, but I thought it was interesting to point out. And finally, we get to the casual outfits, which are the most interesting to talk about. Not counting the Dursley outfits, Harry and Ron both have 5 casual variants, and Hermione only 2. Ron's first casual outfit we already talked about, the green jacket. Harry's first variant is his pajamas, which I counted as a casual outfit. We see it during the first night at Hogwarts, at Christmas, and in the hospital at the end. It is a fancy kind of blue and white striped pajama, and actually we see Ron wearing the same one at Christmas, albeit with a homemade jumper over it. This, plus the fact that Harry slept in his clothes at the Dursleys, makes me think that the pajamas are Hogwarts specific pieces of clothing. If that's the case, however, I don't see why they aren't in red and gold or their house colours. Anyway, the next variant of Harry's is the one he wears when Wood explains Quidditch to him. He is wearing a blue jumper with a grey t-shirt underneath and grey trousers. This is the first of his different coloured jumpers which he wears throughout the film, and I must say, I love these jumpers. His next one is at his Christmas chess match with Ron, where he wears an emerald green jumper with a white and blue checked shirt underneath. He also wears this jumper when he visits Hagrid's to witness the birth of Norbert, albeit with a different coloured shirt. And finally, in the library and the final battle, Harry wears a dark red jumper, which is just fantastic and might be my favourite outfit of his, especially in this movie. My personal headcanon is that Harry bought all these jumpers himself when he and Hagrid were in Diagon Alley, or perhaps he ordered them all by Owl Post or something. It is interesting to see him evolve from this messy Dursley variant to his fancy jumpers. Ron doesn't change as much, he is very much a jacket kind of guy. As we discussed already, he wears a green jacket with a brown corduroy collar, a checked shirt and a navy jumper on the train to Hogwarts. And later at his chess match with Harry, he wears a jacket as well. A blue or dark grey, I can't really tell, jacket with a big blue collar and a dark blue t-shirt. When they go to see Norbert, however, Ron wears a simple jumper with a big stripe on it and a light blue shirt underneath it. Finally, in the final scenes, he wears a grey t-shirt and trousers and a grey and red checked shirt which looks more like Harry's Dursley outfits than anything else. While his clothes aren't as posh as Harry's jumpers, I don't think they represent the monetary struggles the Weasleys are going through. He still wears jumpers and shirts, and they don't look weathered or second-hand, although they might not look as fancy as Harry's jumpers. And finally, we have Hermione. She only wears 2 casual outfits throughout the films, the first of which you can barely see. It is a dark grey or blue or maybe black t-shirt with a dark coloured cardigan with a checked collar over it. There's a dark skirt and some stockings underneath. For all these items it is very hard to tell which colour they are exactly because the lighting of the scene is so dark. Her second variant is a cardigan as well, a sort of Christmassy cardigan, with a black skirt and white stockings underneath it and some black shoes and a black turtleneck. She's very much dressed like a little nerd, which absolutely suits her. And that was every single outfit Harry, Ron and Hermione wore in Philosopher's Stone. Here they are next to each other again. It will be interesting to see how their style evolves throughout the films, and if you are interested in that as well, do stick around. Until next time, goodbye.